Hi everybody, this is Corey again from Path of Friendship, and welcome to another Mindful Mutt Moments. And our mutt here today, Bodhi, who I don't know, he has a weird look on his face today. I'm not sure why. But at Mindful Mutt Moments, what we do is we just take in a couple of minutes every day just to connect together with our dogs without trying to control them, without trying to change who they are, without trying to train them into any tricks or anything. This is just a moment of connection that we have. And I've studied mindfulness, oh my gosh, almost 40 years now. And I've worked with dogs for just about as long. And there's really a major connection between dogs and mindfulness because their frame of reference, their daily experience is really focused on the present moment. So if you can imagine, their minds are kind of like a spotlight. They're not thinking about something so far in the future, and they're not thinking about things so far in the past. They're thinking now. What's going on now? What's in front of them? And part of that is their increased ability of their sensory experience. You know, their eyes are fantastic, their nose, their sense of hearing, all these things are vivid to them. We are much better at thinking, predicting what's going to happen in the future, or even reminiscing about what happened in the past, or maybe worrying about what happened and worrying about having anxiety about what's going to happen in the future. Maybe a better way of describing it these days. But dogs don't really do that. You know, they live in the present, and so they're not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow, even this afternoon. So when we connect with them, we're really taking their perspective on things and we're joining them in their life, and that really can help us calm down. And by doing that, we learn to be really good friends, because I can't be really a good friend to someone who I have no idea how they perceive things or what's going on with them. Here, trying to be more mindful, I can be a better friend to my dog because I can take their perspective, at least in my way. We'll never be identical, we're not the same, but we're equal members of the friendship. And that equality, that's something that's very, very important. And I know that's a little controversial to say, because everybody says, oh, you have to be your dog's leader or boss. But this is about being equals in the friendship. So we're going to do what we start. Most of the times we do these. We just start with taking a nice deep breath, letting it out slowly, feeling it, let the experience of that breath happen. Another breath in, just let it out, and allow our breath to do what it wants. Let it come in when it wants, let it go out when it wants. We're not going to try to change it, we're not going to try to alter it, we're definitely not going to try to control it, we're just going to allow it to happen. And breathing in mindfulness is usually the way we focus in, to begin sort of the attachment point to the present. We attach ourselves to the present by paying attention to our breath. And from there we expand outwards and increase that circle of awareness to other things. But with mindful moments, and doing this with your dog, the way that we are going to attach to the present is not the experience just of how we breathe, but the experience of our dogs next to us. And what I like to do is use my hand and the feeling of Bodhi's fur and muscles and shapes under my hand. I like to really feel the textures and the shapes and really experience with it, and not judge it or evaluate it. So start with nice, calm, soothing, and just pay as much attention to how your dog feels under your hand, how the fur feels. I once had a teacher many, many years ago who told me, you want to pet your dog or stroke your dog slowly enough that you can count every piece of fur under your hand. Now, of course, we can't do that, but his point was, we really want to pay attention. Pay attention, pay attention. He always used to say it 3 times. And while we do that, we can take a breath in and experience our breath out. We can notice, as we've done in previous shows, we notice our dogs breathing, how they breathe in and how they breathe out. But today we're going to, in addition to that, we're going to notice and really going to explore our dog's facial and head muscles. Because one way to help our dogs relax and to help us relax is to give them little massages. And let me preface this by saying we're only going to do things that our dogs are comfortable with and allow. We're not going to force any of this. If you're going to attempt this with your dog and they are just not happy with it, then let it go. Maybe try a little other things later. But let me go over it now, and then you're going to play with it and experiment on your own and make sure that you can do it without any kind of force. So I'm going to start with Bodhi by just taking a finger and going from the bridge of his nose. Whoops, see, he doesn't like that too much. So we're going to actually let that go. So start right here in between the eyes in that little groove. It's known as the stop. And just kind of stroke upwards. And when I do that, I'm going to feel the different bone structure in there. And I'm going to stroke upward until we get to that little point on top of your dog's head. Now, some dogs it's more pronounced than others. It's the occipital bone, it's that little pointy top. Depending on your dog's head shape, it's going to notice it more than others, but every dog has it. So just one finger up till we get to that bone. We could actually then stroke across their eyes. By going across their eyes in nice slow strokes really helps our dogs calm down and relax, and it helps activate their parasympathetic nervous system, which is that resting, as opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which is that fight, flight kind of adrenaline-based thing. We're not looking for an adrenaline-based connection at this point, and we're not looking for a dopamine-based connection, meaning goal-oriented or saying, if you do this, you'll get this great treat. Those are all excitement kind of things. Here, we're looking to increase our oxytocin levels. Oxytocin is the neurotransmitter, was dubbed a few years ago as the love hormone. And it's the chemical that's released when a mother is embracing her baby and the baby and her mother are gazing at each other. And a very interesting thing with dogs is that when we look and we gaze at our dogs and they look at us, there's actually a release of that oxytocin that happens there as well. I know there have been a lot of talk, you should never stare at your dog. And to some point, if you don't know the dog and you have no relationship with them, I kind of agree. But your own dog, make that eye contact sometimes. You're really helping release that soothing, connective, love chemical in you, the oxytocin. It's a wonderful motivator for these kind of events. But also so is the petting. So right across the eyes. And then what I'm going to do is right around the ear. The ear on a dog is always moving. Anytime there's a sound or any kind of even a smell or a sight, those ears are like little radar dishes, and they're going to move around. So those ear muscles kind of tend to get pretty tense. So right around the ear, you're going to feel all around the ear. You'll feel the occipital bone, that bump, and then on either side of it, sort of back of the skull, around the ear, just with the balls of your finger, never the tips, just the balls of your finger, just nice, gentle, circular motions. You can also go here to the jaw muscle. You'll feel the sort of soft area there. And again, if this is bothering your dog and they're not used to it and they don't like it, go slowly, or just do a little bit until they learn to realize how great this is. There's even acupressure points behind there that's a relaxing kind of thing. But we don't have to go so technical. We're just going to do what our dogs like. One thing we don't want to do is when we're connecting is open a book and say, well, you're supposed to relax because I'm pushing this button here. That's nonsense. Those are things in a book. Real life is not the same. So we're going to be our own guides and allow our dogs to give us the feedback to tell them that they like it. So nice, relaxing, and feel how that muscle feels. You can then take the ear and gently massage the ear flap right up to the tip. Go back to the eye here. You can do it with both sides of the face at once. We're just here. And as you do this, and I know I'm talking a lot when I'm doing this, and normally I wouldn't be talking, I'm connected to my breathing. I'm connected to how Bodhi feels under my hand. And we're just going to have this moment together. His eyes are even closing now. Okay. So, let me see if this camera is still going. Yep, we are. I have to check my camera when we're doing things live. Sometimes it doesn't always work. But you know that as well. All right, well, this was good. So, stay mindful, stay happy. Try to focus on what's happening in front of us, and hopefully we'll all be healthy and we'll get through this. And by the way, if you want more information, go on pathoffriendship.com and you can read some good articles there. All right, thanks. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.